I have 3 cards for you today using scrapbook.com's Oak Lane bundle. They are really darling. We have die cuts, patterned paper, and rub-ons along with a stamp set. Hey everyone, it's Joy here and welcome to my channel. Okay, so here's the bundle. At the time of filming, this was available. If it's on back order, just hit the notify me button. Now you're going to get that stamp set. I have the 6x8 paper pad in the bundle. It is the A2 size paper pad, not this A6 or 6x8, but it's the same paper. Then you have these darling rub-ons, transfers. They're all called Oak Lane. And then you have this fantastic die set. Now the dies at the top left match one of the rub-on frames in those rub-ons, which I think is really fantastic. And in a separate little, I'm going to call it a small bundle, you get the stamp set and these dies together. You can get that in a different little bundle. So tons of fun products. So let's get to making our 3 cards. I can't even tell you how much I love this little diamond patterned paper right here. So I'm using the dies from the Oak Lane die set. There's 3 sizes of these. I do end up using the 3rd size. So I have the smallest and the largest. I want to layer these, of course. It's like a nesting die, which is perfect for layering. And I love this stripe. It's like this kind of soft brown, medium brown stripe. It's so pretty with that green diamond. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love it. But when I laid it on top of each other, I was like, oh, it just kind of blends in. I need something to separate it. So out of my paper pad, there is a solid orange, and I'm going to pull that out and use the the middle die cut piece. And then that pop of orange is going to make these stand apart from each other, which really makes the other 2 stand out as well. Look at how, see, it's so pretty. I am also going to be using a die cut as an embossing. So this is not in the bundle. This is the stitched diagonal block. On my die cut plates here, I have this little, it comes with your Spellbinders die cut machine. It's like a little rubber soft plate. So I have my cardstock down. I have the soft plate underneath it. It's not even a plate, it's soft. My cardstock, and then I'm going to place my die cut down. So die cut edge towards that soft foam insert, I'm going to call it. And then you put your plate on top, you run this through your die cut machine, and it will emboss your cardstock rather than die cutting it. Because of that rubber bottom, you are not going to die cut through. I had to switch out my top plate because my other one was too little. But look at how gorgeous that is. I love this die cut, but it is gorgeous as a embossing folder essentially. Then I have the bird from the Oak Lane rub-on transfers, and I started to rub them on, and then I thought I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine on that gorgeous green diamond patterned paper. I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine really quick. Now, I will say this can leave a little line running it through your die cut machine from that release paper, which I do have. It doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, don't run it through your die cut machine that way. Let's glue our little layers together. I'm going to pop up the bird with 1mm foam adhesive just to give it a little something extra. There is large leaves and small leaves in that Oak Lane die cut set. I am using the small leaves for this card. We're just going to add it as a little something extra. Then you have this fun banner die. The stamp set has sentiments that kind of bend and follow it. Then there's straight sentiments. Also in the rub-ons, there is sentiments that fit that banner die that also bend, and also straight sentiments. So I love how scrapbook.com makes all of these things match and go together. I think it's fantastic. I am going to have this a little lower than center because I know I want my sentiment at the top. I'm going to tuck in these leaves and that little flower. And all of these leaves and flowers are die cut from the paper in the Oak Lane patterned paper. There's some solid pieces, and so I just wanted to keep it kind of simple that way, not bring in too many outside products. I did, of course, bring in that stitched diagonal block die that we're using to emboss. Here is that little banner I'm talking about. I'm die cutting that from mixed media white cardstock. And I am going to use one of the sentiments from the rub-on, and I am creating a birthday card with this. So it's going to say happy birthday. And I'm just going to trim that out with my scissors, and then we can just rub that on. I really was deciding, and I'm like, I think I need more birthday cards. So that's what we're going to go with. But see that frame right there, that little rub-on frame, that fits inside the largest, I think it's the largest of the frames that we used on this card. I'm just going to use my Pick Pro tool to rub this on. And then I can just peel off that release paper, and we have a darling sentiment. That is going to go at the top. And I am going to use Spellbinders gold sequins to finish off all three of these cards. All of these cards are A2 size as well. So let's put a few of those there. And then let's move on to our next card. There is this oval frame that I love. So I loved this paper for the centerpiece. And then when I flipped it over, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's leaves on the back. And that frame was cute. So I'm going to flip this over, die cut it again so I can get the frame in the right direction. And I love that. I'm like, it's so pretty. So I'm going to die cut that one more time for the frame piece, and I am making sure that that little outside frame is kind of covering a lot of those leaves so I can get a lot of that. But see how pretty that is? So we're going to do some more rub-ons on this card with a darling little bunny. Oh my gosh, this bunny is so cute. There's also a raccoon and a deer. I think there was 4 animals. I am also going to be using those leaves. This time I'm just going to use my tool to rub this on, because I did want to show that in case you don't want to run it through your die cut machine. And then this won't leave a little mark. And the mark is from just the edge of the plastic of the release paper. And so when I'm rubbing, especially something that is a little bit bigger, I will go in a couple different directions to make sure that I get everywhere really, really well. But let me tell you, this image on that patterned paper is absolutely perfect. It was like it was meant to be, honestly. Like totally it was meant to be. And I'm going to peel that back gently and to make sure that I have everything was rubbed on properly, if that makes sense. And then we have our little leaves here. We're going to do a few of those that they're falling down. And I'm just going to cut them apart so I don't accidentally get one of the pieces of the leaf where I don't want it, because that can happen too. So let me grab a couple more of these. And we're just going to put them in different orientations so it looks natural, like they're falling around this cute little bunny with that little monarch butterfly on its nose. It's so cute. Peeling off the backing paper, using my little tool on my little plastic end on my Pick Pro tool, and then peeling off the release paper. Let's do one more at the top here. And then I did the same thing with that stitched diagonal block. I used the orange cardstock from the Oak Lane patterned paper. Ran that through my die cut machine the same way. I did that for these 2 cards. The third card, I do not do that on. I may have said that I did at the beginning, but that's not true. Then I'm just deciding my sentiment here. I am going to use the stamp this time, and this says sending a hug, and there is a little pennant die that I'm going to use, like with the little flag ends, I guess is what I want to say. And the die is a little bit big for the sentiment, but you can just move the die. You line it up on one side, die cut it, move it to the other side, die cut it. Perfect. I stamped that with black ink, And then let's die cut. So I'm going to line it up on the left side first, then run that through, and then I can pull it out, slide it down, the die cut down on the right side, and line that up. And then tape that and run that through my die cut machine, and it will cut that excess off, and everything will be nice and lined up beautifully. Then there is a bow die in the die cut, and there's also one in the stamp. I didn't check, but I'm betting that the die cut would fit around the stamp. I used this fun little yellow polka dot paper from the Oak Lane paper pad and die cut that bow. I am not normally a bow person, but let me tell you what, it fit this design perfectly. So I'm going to center this right in the middle, because I am going to put the sentiment at the bottom underneath the rabbit, because there's that little open space where I couldn't lower the rabbit with the rub-ons because I would have gotten rid of all those fun little plants around the bunny, and I did not want to do that. So I figured I'm going to put my sentiment there, and it fits perfectly. Then we have our frame that has the little leaf images around the edge. I think that is perfect. Then we have our bow that's going to go at the top with a little bit of 1mm foam adhesive. And then, like I mentioned, the sentiment will go at the bottom, and I will finish this off with the gold sequins as well. But see how that sentiment kind of grounds it at the bottom? I think it's so pretty. I love this oval frame. Oh, I love it. And let's add a few of those. Okay, on the third card, I'm going to use the other frame in the die set, and I'm going to use the bigger leaves. Again, die cutting from the solid cardstock in the Oak Lane paper pad. Then this frame, I loved that striped paper, so I want the center of this to be striped. The outside, I'm going to die cut that frame again because it gives you that little framed piece, that little wavy edge. I want that to be orange. And then if you can see on the left-hand side there, I have the pumpkin cardstock. I'm going to trim that down to an A2 size because I think this pumpkin cardstock is cute. So, and then here's the orange cardstock for the outside of that frame. You could leave the frames off, but I feel like it really adds something to it. So I need that piece there. Then you have these large leaves, and you have the stems that you can adhere to it. So again, all the colored cardstock from that paper pad. I do die cut one more leaf. I thought I was just going to use 2, but I needed 3. On that arched die with the striped paper, I am going to put that in my Misty, and we are going to stamp the sentiment, the big sentiment that says thank you from the stamp set. There is a die, and I feel like the outside die would absolutely coordinate with this, but I want to stamp it directly on this background. I'm going to stamp it with black ink because the leaves are going to have dimension. So I'm lining that up, making sure everything is straight in my Misty. And I'm going to stamp this 2 or 3 times to get a nice, good, crisp, solid image. And now we have our sentiment at the top. Let me just clean that stamp off really quick and get that out of my way. I have my grip mate in my Misty, so it was definitely holding it down really good. So just like the other card, I'm going to lay down the centerpiece with 1mm foam adhesive, and then I can glue down my frame. For me, I felt like that was easier because I think the frame can bend because it's so thin. So if you have your major piece down first, then you can just line up your little frame piece. So just some liquid glue. It almost kind of reminded me of a little ghost. The way it's shaped and the waviness, I think it's really, really cute. All right, so let's put that in place, and I love how the orange pops against that striped paper. I love a good stripe and a good polka dot. It is one of my favorites. And a diamond checker look. I love that too. Okay, so here are our leaves. Like I mentioned, I die cut a 3rd leaf. We're going to place these here at the bottom. They're great size. I love the little vein detail. That little pink flower is the one that I did off camera. And all of these have 2mm foam adhesive. to adhere these down. It really gives it a fun dimensional look. And then of course, let's finish it off with the gold sequins. I'm going to add quite a few of those around. And then we can take a look at these up close in a little card showcase. This is my favorite one because I love that green like diamond check pattern. I love it. Look at all those big fun leaves. This pattern paper is gorgeous. The die cuts are fantastic. All of those frames are beautiful. And I love this bunny. It is so, so cute. Let me know what your favorite one is down in the comments if you have one. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up, leave a comment. I do love to hear from you. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you feel inspired by these videos. And I hope you guys have an amazing day.